Hi, you're listening to What's New Today. This is a kids and family podcast channel, and this is your host Sangeeta from India. This episode is a book review special. A group of children got together with us, joined us last month for reviewing a book called Wonder by the author R.J.Palacio. The book is about a 10-year-old who goes to school for the first time in his life. He's been homeschooled till that point. So, what happens after he goes to school for the first time, and what experiences he has, and how he changes, and how the other characters in his classroom change, that makes up the bulk of the story. It's a beautiful book. So, a group of children got together with us and they reviewed the book Wonder, which means they first read the book, and after that, they jotted down their analysis of the characters in the book, how the plot proceeded, or what changes they might have liked in the plot. They did their own research about certain events and certain medical conditions that the book speaks about. And here you can listen to all of them coming together at the end of the month and sharing their views with their peers. So the children who joined us when we reviewed the book Wonder were...
Hi, I am Prakriti and I study in class 4. I am 10 years old and I am from Mumbai.
My name is Isabel Abraham. I'm 10 years old and I live in Mumbai.
Hello everyone, my name is Agastya Deshpande. I'm 11 and a half years old and I live in Mumbai.
Hello, my name is Advik and I am 9 years old. I study in Balavidya Mandir and I live in Chennai.
Hi, my name is Kian Sujata Parekh and I'm 10 and a half years old. I live in Mumbai.
Good day, everyone. I am Shambhavi Notial. I'm 14 and I live in Delhi.
Hello, I am Smyan Shetty. I am 10 years old and I live in Mumbai.
Hi, I'm Thrai Vineet. I am 12 years old and I live in India.
Hi, I'm Satvik. I study in grade 4 and I live in Mumbai, India.
Wonderful. Welcome, everyone. I know we're all here to talk about the book Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Before that, I wanted to check how many of you had read the book before we began the book review last month. Which of you had read it before?
I had read the book before.
I read the book before.
Wonderful. So a large chunk of us here had read it for the first time, I guess, in the last 1 month. Was this book similar to any other book you all had read?
Yes, actually, it's not one book, but it's a series.
Mm-hmm.
The perspective part reminded me of a series. It's called Wings of Fire, and no, it's not Abdul Kalam's history.
Because the book is written from different people's perspectives, the series. Any other book that you all had read about a character like the protagonist of Wonder? Have you ever come across a character like that?
No.
No, ma'am.
No. All right.
No, usually the main character is always pretty popular and everyone likes them.
Yes. That's a very interesting perspective, Shambhavi.
There are always some kind of protagonists where they're facing some challenge, but I've never come across such a book where they have something so big wrong with their face.
So big wrong with their face. Yeah.
I have rarely come across books where the protagonist is misunderstood.
The literal preface makes you wonder like how nice the book is.
Yes, that's the very, very first opening sentence of the book, right? Can you read aloud what you're just talking about, Kiansh?
My name is August. I want to describe what I look like. Whatever you are thinking, it's probably worse. It gives a wave of imagination how the boy looks like.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful way in which they've tried to describe August. Wonderful play of imagery in that book.
I scrolled through Google and found why R.J. Palacio wrote this book.
Okay, do you want to share the story with us?
So, the author was outside with her sons. There, she saw a girl who had a deformed face like August. Some kids were fearing her, which made the author upset. That inspired her to write this book.
Yes, I saw R.J. Palacio's interview and I quite wrote this over years.
Okay, so I don't know if the rest of you have seen her interview. So this is the reason why she wrote the book. She was outside with her two sons, the author. She was outside with her two sons, and the younger one was really young, I think maybe a couple of years old or something. And they meet this other child at an ice cream parlor, and that child has a face that is a little similar to the protagonist in our story, August Pullman. And her son gets so scared and he screams and he hollers. And the mother of the child who has a face like August Pullman, she just quietly says, all right, I think it's time up. Why don't we get back home? So the author, R.J. Palacio, when she just saw how her son had behaved or reacted to this other child, she felt really taken aback by what that other child must be going through on an every single day basis. So that sparked this idea that, why not narrate a story from the perspective of that child? So, quickly, in one sentence, can each one of us tell us what was the feeling y'all had when you read the book? Agastya.
Now it was a mix of feelings. If you look at behind every face, there's always a mind of someone. It's very unique. It has very unique thoughts, very unique perspectives. It was very interesting. Why I liked August's chapters the most is especially because the way he's expressing his thoughts, why he likes Halloween, why he likes some stuff. So it was very intriguing, especially those chapters where there was August.
Mm-hmm. Advik, what did you feel like when you read the book?
It was very really touching, and I don't know. Some people made their elders like understand other people and all. So it was a mix of feelings, like Agastya said, and some people also understood who they were. And I also hope that others will change like this.
Are you saying that people have changed just because they read the book?
No, I'm hoping that they will change if they read the book.
Wow, powerful, powerful word of recommendation. Okay, Shambhavi, what did you feel like when you read the book?
I could see myself in every character I saw. Like even when I read about Julian's part, I could see myself like I used to be like this once. And then when I read about August, it made me feel like I used to be like this in middle school. And it just made me feel like we all are ultimately the very same. At the core, we are the same, the self is the same. And so we shouldn't really consider ourselves different from each other. And it honestly like warmed my heart to see like a story of such inclusion, because usually it would be something like something minor, like having blotchy skin, not fitting in the beauty standards, being deaf. But having something major like surgeries like this and having a book written from that point of view which is actually successful is very nice. And I feel like there's a good marketing technique here. Like they haven't described the face, otherwise people would go like, oh, if I had been in Julian's situation, I would have behaved the same way, because people like this deserve to be treated this way. And it is not until we get to Julian's point of view that we actually get to know how August actually looks like.
Very valid point. Okay.
Said it.
Uh,
I like how she said it.
oh, words of appreciation from Uppiya, Shambhavi.
Thank you.
Try, what did you feel like when you read the book?
I felt that discrimination is the single most bad thing that happens in all of humanity, because most of the wars in religion, or say the British colonizations, are because of discrimination, and that is the single most horrible thing that could happen to any person. And it also made me wonder what all handicapped people must be going through, and I can relate. And yeah, it also made me feel that Even if you might feel like you're alone, there are some people who would look out for you and say that you're good. Even if some people might not have been friends with you for the right reasons, they still are your friends.
Wow, wonderful. Smyan.
The book was very emotional, and it also showed how other people who had such who were handicapped or they had deformities, how they would feel. And the thing I liked the most in this book was that the book was told by many people's perspective, not by just one person's perspective, and that showed how other people felt about Augie.
Yes, very, very important point, Smyan. You've touched on that, and we are going to talk about that shortly. Satvik.
Yeah, so the story was more on the side of motivation, bravery, heart touching, mentorship, and humorous. But the thing which I like the most is that the way they describe Augie, his feelings, and when I read the book, I honestly speaking, I felt that I am Augie, and this will be one of the only books maybe which described or which has like they named like how can I say this, they have took a character which who has a medical facial deformity called Treacher Collins.
Hmm.
So and the concept of the story was also very unique.
Yeah, that it is. Very, very correct. Yeah. Prakriti, tell me what you felt like when you read the book.
The book made me a bit emotional.
I can join that club. I was very emotional when I read it.
What I really liked, the author emphasized importance of empathy, kindness, and acceptance.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, you've put it very succinctly. How did you cry when you read the book?
Yes, especially the part where Daisy died.
Oh, you're a big lover of pets, aren't you? Isabel, what did you think?
So when I read the blurb of the book, I'm like, why are they describing the child like this? Why isn't he describing what his face looks like? And then when then this book review came up, and then I saw that I don't have an ordinary face. And I was like, what is this? It is very heart touching and very emotional. It embraces some of these problems that are there actually in the world. I don't think any other author would actually write a book on this. That's what I felt.
Wonderful. Kiansh?
Actually, I felt very sensitive while reading this book, which is namely Wonder, and I was pretty curious to know what was ahead.
Hmm. Okay. So, next question. Why do you think the author named it Wonder? Any ideas?
So, ma'am, the first thing that it says on the top,
Hmm.
below the international bestseller, is you can't blend in when you want to stand out. So, when they say wonder, that means really you're unique, like a wonder. You want to
Oh,
stand out, something like that. A very extraordinary person in the positive light.
wonderful. It's like the seven wonders of the world. That's how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, a bit similar because why the seven wonders stand out is because maybe they are just unique. They have
Hmm.
a unique story or a
Hmm.
unique design behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I think it was called Wonder because, as the story preface behind tells, my name is August. I won't describe what I look like. Whatever you are thinking, it's probably worse. That makes us think that what else is going to happen and makes us wonder that what is the face of the boy described in the picture over here too. So it
Oh,
is
okay.
named Wonder. Wonder about his face.
Okay.
So after the hardships Augie faced in his life, like he was in a part of discrimination, and Julian like almost tortured him mentally. but still he stood strong. And yeah, if you find such people in the world, they are one of a kind. That's why I think the book is named Wonder.
Ooh, okay. So Lionel Messi, Roger Federer, Virat Kohli, all of these are also people who are wonders, right? Because they also have to stand strong through many, many challenges that they go through in life, right?
Yes.
I know some of you have read the Julian chapter, and I think some of you have not, because you may have bought different editions of the book, but that does not matter. We know that Julian, who is this other child in August Pullman's class, they're all fifth graders, and Julian is not terribly excited about having to hang out with Augie. He doesn't want to be friends with Augie. He even tries to bully Augie at practically every turn possible. Right, that's possibly why we don't like Julian. Is there anybody here who likes Julian? No, I don't see any takers for that.
I mean, I think he could use some help.
He could like definitely use some help. Like he could use some help with coping up with not bullying people. He could use a not bullying class.
He is the bully, so he has to take an anti-bullying class. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm glad they wrote that last chapter where he like opens up about why he did these horrible things to August and he confesses. That was very touching.
That was very touching. Yes, I agree. So, some of you who have not read the last chapter, the Julian chapter, the Julian chapter was not part of the original book that R.J. Palacio had written. She added the last chapter because she always felt that every story can have many perspectives, right? There's a child, Augie, whom we all tend to sympathize with, but even if there's a bully in the class, there must be something going on in his life. That's why he's a bully. We should try and understand even the bully's perspective, why he's turned out the way he has. It's a beautifully written chapter. I highly encourage all of you to get that copy and read it. So, my question is, do you think there's any which ways in which you, in your own head, can justify why Julian behaved the way he did, a bully?
I was just thinking about this before the session. I came up with a whole theory.
You have a theory, okay? Yes.
I feel like first we've been given the backdrop that he used to be scared about all these faces he saw as a child. So first of all, I feel like that's like emotional trauma as a child. So he's been relating all those things, demonic things, and like I feel like since he's gotten into fifth grade, he hasn't been taking change very well. He treats all the boys of his friend group as his own. He feels like they're going to stay the same, the ideal, popular, funny friend group forever. But that does not stay the same, and that is very short lived for him. And like, he doesn't realize this. And I feel like in this whole story, he's been just looking for public validation. I used to be a popular kid when I was in primary school too. And I get the feeling of being liked by everyone and ultimately starting to chase that feeling.
Wow.
I have a question. Has Julian ever been bullied before?
That I don't know. Maybe he has been.
Many bullies are bullies. I read this because their parents don't treat them very well. That's all.
That's your opinion. Yeah, it's very possible. Typically, a child who's been bullied by a parent ends up bullying others.
Yeah, so after Julian saw Augie's face, which was very different from others, so he may be scared of Augie that his face is so different and he looks different than all of the ordinary kids. So, what if he harms me? And the second thing I think that Julian is a bully is that I think he got bullied earlier. So, he thinks that if I start bullying others, I will get the power and I will start looking cool.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Like Trai said earlier, if someone's been bullied either by, an adult who's at home or somewhere else, they might end up having to take out all that angst on another child. And that's why they end up being bullies. Yes, Mian?
I think first of all, Julian used to have nightmares of Augie, and he was And second of all, since he knew he was the most popular kid in
Mm.
5th grade, he thought that since Augie is a new student in the school, everyone might be friends with him. So that's why I think he started like bullying Augie to make everyone feel that Augie is not cool, only Julian is.
Okay, so he was insecure that he might not have friends. So
Yeah.
that was perhaps a justification. Oh, wonderful. Very, very cool ideas you all have. I mean, very interesting that you all have observed so much about people. Yes, Advik.
So, Auntie, it was like Julian was trying not to be like harsh, but I think somebody forced him to be harsh. Or I think he needs a beginner guide on bullying.
Beginner's guide to bullying. I think he's already advanced level, master's level.
No, I mean beginner's guide to not bullying.
Not bullying. Okay. So Advik thinks that he was forced to become a bully. Some circumstances in his life forced him to become a bully. Is that what he's saying, Advik?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tiansh.
At first, I thought that he was very bitter to August and his friends like Jack and Summer. But then, when I came towards the end of the story and towards the Juliet chapter, he began to turn empathetic. Somebody must have encouraged him to bully somebody, or he must have been bullied by somebody else. So his
Yeah.
thought process must have changed on that way.
Okay. Yes, Isabel.
At the start of the book, well, uh, when not actually at the start, I found this when I read the Julian chapter that Jack actually created an image of Augie in his head, and he was like, "Oh my god, this child looks like this." So maybe he got the because he got that picture in his head. He like first only before meeting the kid, he had the mindset that this kid does not deserve to be treated like this, and maybe later he might have uncovered his real personality, but then he's thought like I already started this, so I have to keep it up, and he kind of involved others in it and made it a chain. That was really bad.
Yeah, is true. I have another question. Is there any other book that you all have read where you feel that the villain's perspective has also been narrated? Not so far, at least nothing. None of us has come across such a book, but this is a book where we do hear Julian's perspective. This is a book which is very unique in that, you get to hear the story from the so-called villain. I wouldn't even like to call Julian a villain. He's just the child whom we don't like in the early part of the story, right? But we get to hear his perspective. And also, this is a book where the author has not written the story just from the protagonist and the so-called villain's perspective, but from the perspective of so many other characters. Can you recollect and tell me from the perspectives of which characters the book has been written? There are many chapters in which many other people have narrated.
So the perspectives, August, three
Mm,
chapters of August,
mm,
Julian,
mm,
Jack,
mm,
Summer,
mm,
August sister Bia,
mm.
and Miranda.
Right. Hmm?
And even Justin.
Yeah, and even Justin. Correct. Yeah.
That the chapter on Justin was like just like feel good chapter.
It's a feel good chapter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think your classrooms that, the schools in which you study, the classrooms that you go to, is it very similar? Do you all have Jacks and Summers and may not have an Augie, but you all will have a Julian and an Amos and all of that stuff?
I guess I have a Julian in my classroom. 2, 3 Julian actually.
Uh, in my classroom, we have some Summers and Jackwills, but as you said that we don't have any Augies and Julians as well. There
Mm-hmm.
are many people, but it's just that their voice is very straight. So we think that they are actually like very harsh with us, but they are actually not.
They're not. Okay.
Yeah, there are a few Summers and Julians. The one of the Julians is very harsh, not in the physical way, but actual mental abuse. So he does not make an inside joke as such,
Hmm.
but he does not care if he makes a joke and everyone knows it.
Oh my
Well,
God. Okay, that's
yeah,
worse.
that's what.
Good luck with dealing with that, Julian.
Actually, there are many Charlottes, Jacks, and Summers in my class. Everybody except all the girls are
Hmm.
Julians for me.
All the
Because
boys in your class are Julians.
yes, because
Ooh.
everybody bullies me because of my height. Even my best friends.
Oh, okay. I can only imagine what you must be going through. But yeah, like Augie, you just might find a nice Jack at some point in time, right?
So I have some Jacks, Summers, and Julians in qualities, not in names, but so I have like 4 Jacks,
Four Jacks. Okay, that's nice.
4 Jacks, 2 Julians.
Four Julians. Okay,
Not
equally.
not 4, 2.
Two Julians. Okay. Then you can
And
take
for
on the Jack.
Summers, 6.
Okay. So you have a pretty nice classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. How many stars on a scale of 1 to 5 would you rate this book? Each one of you, if you can quickly go around. If you can just show me the number of stars with your hands, I can count. Yeah, I see 5 stars from everybody, right?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Quickly go around and tell me which age group you would recommend this book to. Minimum age. I'm sure people as old as even 80 can read this book, so they would love it. But minimum, what age do you think? Kiansh,
Maybe 9 to 12 years old.
9. They should be at least 9 years old. Okay, Agastya.
Yeah, ma'am. I think somewhere at 8 years, when you are suddenly 8 years old, you start getting scared if there's a person like August.
Hmm.
So I recommend it. You might also want to see a person like August. You'll treat them in a different way. So I recommend it because I think that's the age when that thing starts. That part where you treat people in different ways and you're really scared.
Wow. Okay, that's a very interesting reason you're giving for a recommendation for an age group. Satvik.
I would recommend this book like it should be 10 and above because some of the concepts of this books, by concept I don't mean exactly concept, like some of the words are also difficult, so they will take the time in searching, and instead of taking the enjoyment which it should be like continuous, they'll break their flow of reading. So I
Acha.
suggest 10 and above.
Smyan.
I suggest 10 and above because in the Wonder Book, it did not show what Julian thought. So, a few kids younger than 10 years old may like start bullying someone.
So you're afraid that Julian
Yeah.
might set the wrong
They
example for them.
might start following Julian and also bully others.
Such interesting ideas you all have. Okay. Isabel.
I think at least 9 years old because like it's a time where they might face such bullies in school, and then they would know how to deal with it. Like they would at least know how to give it back.
That's true. Trai.
I recommend it to any age group from the age of 7 because that's when I read it.
Okay, because you read it when you were 7. Okay, that's a good enough reason. Prakriti.
I suggest this book for children aged 9 and above. Around this age, I think many children may engage in bullying behaviors.
9 and above. Okay. Advik.
So, I recommend this book for like 9 to 25. Is that okay?
You can say 9 to 105 also.
Well, 9 to 25 because they need to know how to handle things the way. So how to finish school if bullies come and like get you every day. So
Mm.
they'll pick on you every day.
Mm.
So they know how they should know how to be independent by themselves. They can't
Mm.
just have the parents tagging along them.
Correct, naturally, right? Augie's mother and father did not sit next to him in school, did they?
No, they did not,
Mm.
and they should be independent. That's why, because younger children also would get picked on bullies. So you can recommend this book from 9 to 25 years.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. But I'm still not very sure of the upper age limit that you are placing for the recommended age group. I read it at an age slightly higher than 25, and I can say that I absolutely loved it. Shambhavi.
Ma'am, I think the appropriate age would be like 10 and above. And also, like Advik pointed out, there is a Julian in my class who said that he had read this book a few years ago himself. And
Hmm.
now it's a perfect embodiment of him.
Hmm.
And like, since I've accepted the fact that every bully has some backstory, I have been trying to get a theory out of him.
Hmm.
But most bullies of my class just try to point it out like, oh, I just love bullying people because it gives me happiness, and
Hmm.
this is just who I am. I
Hmm.
act like this with everyone else, so this is who I am. And I
Hmm.
don't even feel bad for doing that.
You don't feel bad for the bullies now.
They
Wow, evolved soul, Shambhavi.
they don't give me any theory. They're just like, no, I think that you're this because I think you're this. I think
Got
you
it.
have a trash mind because I think you have a trash mind.
Did you all enjoy the book review that we did together? I know you all enjoyed the book. Did you enjoy the book review?
Yes.
You did.
Yes, yeah,
So,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
listeners, I hope you too enjoyed listening to all of these children sharing their views of the characters and their rationalization for why some adults or children behave the way they do. I thought it was quite fascinating that they've made such astute observations on human behavior. If you'd like to buy a copy of the book, if you've not already read it, you can find link to this in the show notes below. This summer, we're launching a range of courses helping children put together their own podcasts or helping children who love writing or thinking about new stories. A complete creative writing course on how to write their own book and become a published author. You can find links to all of these in the show notes below. And that's it from us. Thanks for listening.